It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
This is episode 700 of Car Con Carne. The theme is, well, it's radio. It's people who I worked with at Q101 through the years. I'm going to admit more people because tonight we're doing this kind of Royal Rumble style. People leave the ring and then, oh my God, out of nowhere, out of the locker room, here come Abe Kanan and Roker Jr. and DJ Luv Cheez. This right here, what you're seeing come to life on screen is essentially a dream team. I see Abe, I see Roker Jr.
A dream team, right?
Abe and Roker Jr., the co-host of the Slob Show, one of my favorite podcasts, bar none.
Thank you.
A podcast which celebrates the slob lifestyle. DJ Luv Cheez is here as well. Roker Jr., also known as Ken Smith, that is his civilian name. Roker Jr., one of the most versatile radio people I've ever worked with. He could do straight news and traffic. He could do his own talk show. He's also a very dependable and funny ensemble player. He's worked at GCI, V103, WGN, The Game. He spent 20 years with Mancow. He was on WLS, The Loop, and he currently hosts syndicated mainstream rock morning shows, and he does Roker Radio, that podcast. And I mentioned the Slob Show. WGN, The Game. Yay. 20 years with Mancow. He was on WLS, The Loop, and he currently hosts syndicated mainstream rock morning shows. All right, who's doing that? Roker Radio, that podcast.
The technical guy.
Is it really Cheez?
Oh, is that me? Oh my God, I forgot I was listening.
Jesus Christ. I just put him on mute.
Technical genius.
Oh my God. All right, so Abe Kanan. Ooh, he got a fat ass. Abe's the man of 1,000 voices.
Yes.
The guy whose phone scams got more requests than a lot of the songs that Q101 used to play. He is currently the part of the Angie Taylor Morning Show on Rock 95.5, and he's surrounded by music that I know he likes a lot more than 21 Pilots. And of course, DJ Luv Cheez, who generally is a really talented audio guy, one of the most talented producers I've ever worked with. He's a genius with audio. All three of you have worked together in and around each other for many years. Timing wise, I thought it'd be fun to have you all together now. And Cheez, you can unmute yourself. You're out of the penalty box.
You're still muted.
One out of every three Zoom calls. But here's the thing,
he's still
guys.
trying to get the hang of it.
I started tonight. I was really ambitious. I'm like, I'm going to go on. I'm going to start talking by myself before Chris Payne and Ellen Cox come on. Yeah, my mic was off. I didn't realize till Payne came on that my mic was muted the entire time. Like it's my first. Like we haven't all been doing Zoom calls for the past 2 years.
How about now?
It happens.
Yeah,
there you go.
Woo!
Unfortunately, we can hear you now. Yeah.
I'm yelling really loud, so that's why. I'm so glad I'm on with Abe and Al. I love both of those guys.
Yes.
Well, you guys, you basically you lived in the foxhole together for a very long time. Like I'm sure that it's like a brotherhood. I'm sure I've seen you snipe at each other, but I always got the sense that the three of you, like you came up through a war together. You'll always have that bond, that commonality.
Yeah, I could always feel safe anywhere we went, and we went a lot of places with Abe next to me because I know Abe would take care of me no matter what. He always had my back, no matter who I lipped off to, no matter who I pissed off.
There was a gentleman named Big Goonie that was going to kick Cheez's ass once.
He was going to kill me,
and everyone else went like this, and they stepped back, and I actually broke it up. I held him back, and this dude was going to kill Luv Cheez.
That's one of the most memorable things because I saw his eyes change and everybody else, like you said, stepped to the side and Abe stepped in and was like, whoa. And that from right then, I was like, Abe's got my back no matter what. I know it. You know what I mean?
The three of you, I've always kind of, don't take this the wrong way. I've always thought of you as radio or broadcasting lifers. And as it stands, really, Abe is the only one. Well, Roker, I don't know enough about what you're doing with this morning show stuff, but I mean, Abe's the one I know who's still like actively working in Chicago radio out of everyone on this call. Like, it's interesting how the industry has changed, and Cheez, I think, just left all the way out the door when he left radio. I kind of did the same.
Well, he does. Yeah, Cheese just left, and Roker's on like 30 markets. He does like a syndicated morning show.
I didn't even know Cheese. I didn't even know you had just left, Cheese.
Yeah, I just at one point I literally just said, you know what? I've been doing mornings for 29 years, and I'm really tired of getting up at 3 a.m. I'm tired, and I'm not a host. So I don't want to produce an afternoon show. So I found something else. The girl that I'm dating has a PR company, and she said, come work with me. We could work from home, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm doing. And now I don't have to get up at 3 a.m, which is, look, no more like huge dark circles under my eyes.
No,
look at that.
No more
beautiful.
Samsonite eyes. Yeah.
There's some beautiful eyes. You look gorgeous. That's another, I caught the tail end when Alex Quigley was talking about how great Chris Payne looked. Luv Cheez isn't a young man. He looks like he's like 26.
I'm old as dirt.
He looks like a young twink.
That's another reason I love Abe, because he always calls me a twink, and I love that. Nobody else in the world uses the word twink except for Abe, and he always says, Cheese, you're such a twink.
My favorite thing over the past couple of weeks, I mentioned I love the Slob Show. I think that is, like, if you guys were to identify one of your side hustles to ride off into the sunset with, I think the Slob Show is it. I think you've found a niche. Roker talking about the time that he and I saw Berwyn Championship Wrestling at the Eagles Club in Berwyn, and we just sat, and everything around us was entertaining.
That was fun, right? That was a great day. I was kind of doing pop-up video live at that time, so anytime something happened, I would just kind of whisper in JVO's ear because it was just so rich. There was so much to talk about there. It was amazing. Was that the day that Tammy Stitch was there?
Yes.
Did she have sex with one of you guys after? She's
looking good. Wow.
She just got arrested again this week.
Well, I interviewed her before the event at the Eagles Club.
Did you do a Skype call with her for $65?
This was before that revenue stream opened up.
Oh, good.
I interviewed her beforehand, and the interview was delayed because apparently she threw up a couple times before the scheduled interview, and she had to like clean up before we had our chat.
Jeez.
So that really kind of set the table. So I'm doing this interview at the back bar of the Berwyn Eagles Club, where all these amateur wrestlers are like trying their moves on each other. It was
yes.
I felt like my career had broken completely in the wrong direction at that point. Like, what am I doing here? This is terrible. But I was at this event, and Roker's killing me with his commentary. I'm there with my son, and I'm not sure if it prematurely aged him, sent him down a wrong path, but the sights and sounds there were probably inappropriate for my child at that point.
Yeah, my filter was completely off that day. Was that the day that we were there and our former controller Cliff showed up?
Yes. Cliff Berkowitz.
Cliff Mazzoni.
Oh, Cliff Mazzoni, my bad.
Yeah.
Cliff Berkowitz is the serial killer, right?
Yeah. Hey, Jen Jameson.
Look at that's David Berkowitz.
David Berkowitz, son of Sam.
Right.
Yes.
Jesus. All right, so we're joined by someone like Abe, Roker, Cheez. I've seen you all more recently. We've worked together fairly recently. I have not seen Jen Jameson. I can't even imagine how long it's been, Jen Jameson.
Maybe a decade more. I don't know.
Jen Jameson did overnights on Q101 for a very long time. Like, how long was it? It was like a total of 10 years. All in.
It was a few years of overnights, and then I was like a permanent part-timer, weekend, swing shift, whatever. So
back when radio stations had live overnights.
Yeah. The good old days. Yeah.
It was automated.
Live morning, for that matter.
Yes. I mean, we just took it for granted. Well, of course, there's an overnight host.
Yeah, and I was the overnight host when the transition was made to Man Cow. So all of you guys and I became BFFs.
I used to love coming into work.
Morning.
I would get there at like 3:34 in the morning, and Jen was doing like a live broadcast at Excalibur.
Oh, she'd be at some
hammered.
Oh man, all hyped up on like Red Bull and vodka at 4 in the morning.
Hammered.
It was the best. Yeah.
The
club all dressed up.
The dead air alarm was going off. Like, hey, wake up. But didn't you want your overnight back then though? Your overnight person was like a partier. That's what you wanted. Like that's
Of course.
like they're living the lifestyle. Like that's what an overnight person should be.
Because the people who listen overnight are the disenfranchised, dangerous loners, ne'er-do-wells, villains.
Dangerous loners.
Well, I mean, who's listening to an alternative radio station at 3:30 in the morning? Okay, long haul truck drivers, yes.
Someone who's rolling, yeah, absolutely.
Meth heads, yeah, I was gonna say.
Very strange following, absolutely, yeah.
Dangerous loner.
I mean, I found when I did overnights, that brief time at Q101, like there would be a clear delineation. You get normal-ish calls until about 2:30, then things got really fucking weird. Like, like threatening or just people rolling.
Was it you that found out you got fired by a caller?
Yes. Well, not by a caller, by an email. Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, James, why did you leave the radio industry? Well, here's an example.
Let me show you the email.
Yeah, I found out. I got an email, and the writing was kind of on the wall because Fook got fired within a week before it happened to me. But I got an email from a stranger saying, "Hey, James, I just want you to know I'm a fan, and I think it's kind of shitty, but I know that you're going to get fired before you're off the air tonight. Spike's going to come in and fire you." Spike, who is the program director at the time.
My God.
I'd never seen this dude's name before. And so I had no reason to doubt it. And then 30 minutes later, it's like 3:00 in the morning. I hear Marv Nyron's voice down the hallway, who is the general manager. I'm like, well, there's no reason that
what is he doing there in the middle of the day?
So, at that point, I'm cleaning out my locker. I'm wiping shit off the hard drive.
That's the worst.
And I'm just waiting. And, the morning show is just kind of staying away as this is going on. And, sure enough, Spike walks in. Again, he was the program director at that point, who was at Q101 for all of 10 minutes. If I'd just been able to survive that firing, I could have survived him. He walked in. I'm like, dude, this is the most Bush League thing I've ever experienced. He's like, I know. Come on, we got to go to Marv's office.
Wow.
Were you happy that you had the heads up so that you could
Yeah, I guess. But what a weird feeling to sit with for a couple hours. Like, yes, the heads up was nice, but I just had to kind of live with that.
Every song you could possibly think of that you weren't supposed to play.
Oh yeah, I did that too. But
yeah,
I mean, in the middle of the night, there's no one to talk to. Like, I can't even say, "Oh shit, I'm getting fired," because there are no coworkers there.
Oh, my wife or someone.
So I'm just in the studio trying. It happened on 420. So speaking of those late night callers, all my calls were like, "Dude, 420, are you sparking it up? 420, you stoned? Can you play some play some Cypress Hill?"
Right.
Yeah. So
that's hilarious. That reminds me of when we got fired from Q101, and Abe was the one who was the young twink at that point.
Like, wait, he was a cute young twink back then.
He didn't look like one of the 9/11 bombers at the time. No, and dude, all of us are in.
Hey, I'm looking pretty good, man.
Can you not say that anymore?
You look fabulous, Abe.
You can never say that.
Too soon. Yeah. Too soon.
Roker of all people talking about someone who looks like a suspect. Like Roker's in every like when Roker and I try to get a cab, I'm the one who gets the cab every time.
That's a true story. That's a true story.
He asks me to wait for a cab, and he's talking about my appearance.
Well, James was fishing for compliments in my intro and called me dependable.
You are. So I think you're an absolutely versatile radio player. All right, but
talk dependable.
Because talk about getting fired.
Yeah, so all of us are in. It was Marv's office. Marv has fired a lot of people, and of course, when you fire the Mancow show, it's like a clown car. There's like 15 people in the office, and they go over this whole thing and this whole thing and this whole thing and this whole thing, and then Abe goes, "So we're not coming in tomorrow?"
Welcome to radio.
Yep. Get used to it.
Yeah. Marv has fired me 3 times and hired me 4 times, I think. Wow. So we're almost even.
There you go.
We're almost even.
I was going to ask Zoltar this, who ghosted us tonight. But Roker, I'll ask you because it's a fair question. In alternative, the radio format, I think there's a huge diversity problem with the format. The radio cluster I just left, I think it had 3 persons of color in the entire staff. Was it 2, Cheese?
Yeah.
For real. And alternative radio in general has had a diversity problem. That was something we could never, or not that we could never, was never talked about.
Well, it's not, well, yeah, it's something that white people never talk about. I talk about it all the time. Here's the thing that I've always said, and I'm always, and I'm not trying to be funny here, but I've always found, I think, in the workplace that white people are more uncomfortable around African Americans because they're always working around very few African Americans, when African Americans are always working around white people. So I always found myself at home if I was working at alternative Q101 or classic rock, The Loop, or I never had a problem with being the only black guy in the building. I think that there were probably only 3 black people on the air at Q101 ever. Zoltar, me, and
Mickey.
Oh, that's right.
Wow. Blast from the past.
Yeah.
That's it. So, I mean, it never, I always kind of found it as a badge of honor that I was able to squeeze into these different genres and different formats where usually they don't put an African American.
Although our HR person did have Abe down as being African American.
That's right.
Yeah, that's probably
That's a true story.
That's a true story. It's hilarious.
I told our program director, I'm like, hey, it says African American. He started laughing, and I went in the office. I said, hey, you have me down as African American. She's like, you're not black? No, I'm not.
I love
As
that
a matter
story.
of fact, I'm not.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we have a new addition. This is Royal Rumble style. People enter the ring at staggered intervals. Grant Random did weekends on Q101 from 1999 to 2001. He was one of the original voices at XM. He's been doing satellite radio for 21 years. He is the person who is helping to contribute to the death of FM radio, as we've come to know it.
Thank you very much.
Grant.
And I have to say, it's actually it's cool to connect with Abe here, because we've never actually talked or met before, and he's actually the voice of one of my channels at SiriusXM.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I'm the voice of Octane, and
Yes,
I'm always
you are.
he does the morning show, so I'm always doing Grant Random imaging.
Nice.
Right.
So,
So
it's
it's
nice to meet you.
it's nice to officially meet you via this podcast.
Yeah, and
Oh,
my
that's the
girlfriend
coolest.
my girlfriend Kathy knows you well too.
That's right. Yeah,
So-
of course. Another alum of Q101. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
good to see all of you.
You too.
Is she
Yeah,
around,
man.
Abe? Can she wave?
Oh, she's not here. I'm alone here.
You ever notice she's never there?
I've never seen pictures of them together.
Never there.
My girlfriend Georgette Glass.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
She lives in Canada actually.
She lives in the Niagara Falls area.
I will say that the Abe and Kathy dating thing was brilliantly executed. When I found out about it, my jaw hit the ground. Like not even a ghost of a thought in my head.
Because it was the entire time we were at the Loop, the first week, because we didn't tell it because we didn't want to say anything because it would have been weird, right?
Of course.
No,
Well,
it would've
what's
been
even
super
weirder is that Abe and I dated most of the time that we were at Q101. So, and nobody
Exactly.
ever found
And
out
we didn't tell anyone
that.
about that either.
We kept
Well,
that
we-
under
Walk
wraps.
in on you guys once.
Geez, I'm sure you know, as was my experience, he is a generous, giving lover.
He's very generous.
right.
He's a
I've been with
giving
all-
lover.
In fact, I've been with all of you except for Jen.
True. It's true.
I've laid with all of you.
I had Kevin Matthews on the podcast within the past 2 years. Time is a construct. I don't even know when it was. We were talking about satellite radio, and he talked about what was kind of the beginning of the end, back when radio stations were taking money, ad dollars, from the fledgling companies, from Sirius, from XM.
Yeah.
The commercials were basically saying, hey, you tired of commercials? You tired of the same shitty no choice radio? Come on over here. The water is fine. And
Right.
stations like Q101 were taking that ad money. Like it was justified at the corporate level for whatever reason. Oh, it's not going to last. It's not going to be around 5 years later. Well, here we are. Grant is like a superstar. Satellite radio is something it's a want to have in a lot of cars. It's just radio has this tendency historically of just shooting itself in the foot.
Well,
Well, not only did they take that ad money, they went on shuffle. So they decided to emulate the piece of electronica that was actually stopping people from listening to radio. And then there was then we would hand out earplugs at concerts. So, hey, you don't want to listen to this music. You don't want to listen to the radio, and we'll take XM ad dollars.
Didn't the billboard say this is not for you?
This is not for you. Yeah.
That's what Eddie Vedder said at Soldier Field. That's right. There was a Q101 billboard that said, "This is not for you." He's like, "Hey man, this is not for them."
I always thought it was weird because I never thought that there was competition between satellite radio and local radio when that used to be a thing, because we were so national. Local stations, when they were actually local, could do things that, Sirius XM now cannot do. But as we've seen, that's not even a thing anymore. Local radio's gone away. And so that one advantage that I think terrestrial radio, as we call it, that they had, they've been pissing that away too, which I don't understand, because I think both can coexist, and not so much, I guess, anymore.
Well, I'm at Rock 95.5, and I've never been, and I'm not just saying this is like the best station I've ever worked at, and we are live all the time. So it can happen. Like our station, it's like old school radio, like fun. Yeah. You do whatever you want. Just fun. Like I heard, I think Jaime, I was listening earlier, and Jaime was saying, like, when a DJ tells you a song's coming up, you could just pull up Spotify and listen. But I have Casino on DVD. I have Casino digital. I have Casino on VHS, right? I don't put in Casino. But when it's on, like, whatever HBO and I'm flipping, I'll stop and watch Casino, right? So if I hear Danzig Mother, I have 17 Danzig CDs. I have Apple Music. I have
no one has 17 Danzig CDs. No one has 17 Danzig CDs.
I have 9.
They're all the same CD.
But I feel like radios, and I'm 40 now, right? So like that 25 to 54 is the group of people that we grew up with radio. Like, we love radio. So if you cater to people like me, which is like what my station's doing, I think there's still a long life for radio. There's a lot of dudes who listen every day who still call in, and they don't use their phone. Like we're so used to technology. There's a lot of guys, even my age and older, they still just listen to the radio.
Well, Abe, you just said it. I think one of the biggest problems that radio programmers have in the present day is trying to seduce those younger listeners, those 18 to 24s. They don't care about radio. I can tell you, I have a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old at home. They don't use radio. So, I mean, what's the business cliche? Fish where the fish are. Go for the audience is going to listen. And I think that's what your station's doing. With that, 35 to 54. You're not going to get a 20-year-old.
And I'll tell you this too. With our morning show, we have the young listeners because they like our show, and now they like the music. So I feel like personalities can bring, like, there's this kid, Dennis, who listens to us. I just went to his house yesterday and I gave him all my CDs. I had 5 garbage bags full of CDs. I'm like, he's 19 years old and he listens to CDs. I'm like, I'm going to give you my CDs because I don't listen to him. I brought him to he listens to CDs. He loves the station. Now he'll listen to us forever, right? I gave him all my CDs. He loves radio. And there is a lot of kids like that still.
I just find it weird that Abe is driving around Chicago in like an old ice cream truck, handing out CDs to young boys. I mean, it sounds natural, but it's funny to me.
Do you remember, Dennis? I used to be a twink too, Dennis. I remember.
Dennis, do you want to come see the truck?
There's more CDs inside the truck, Dennis. Come on in.
You ever see that episode of the Brady Bunch when Joe Namath goes over to the house and throws Bobby the football? Uh-huh. And the whole family comes out. That's how I felt. Like, I walk in there, his whole family came out. His dad, he has like 10 brothers and sisters. They're all standing around. Like, well, here's the CDs, guys. Like, I'm just standing there.
I love the Joe Namath, the Joe Namath Brady Bunch reference. Tell me you're old without telling me you're old.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's 2 Brady Bunch references so far today from him.
Yeah.
Who'd have punked that one?
Yeah.
All right. So in conclusion, Jen Jameson, what are you up to now?
Well, I moved out of the city. I'm a suburbanite and live in Wisconsin, but that means easy access to New Glarus.
Oh, because I remember nice. I went to Frank's in Kenosha once, which And I remember you commented about that. This is like my favorite breakfast place.
Frank's is pretty out there. If you want to just gorge on, the garbage plate. It's called the garbage plate.
Yeah, and I do.
Yeah. But I'm actually not working in the music business at all right now, which really sucks. But I feel like I have a new edge on the music business because I have a baby and we listen to cool music all the time. And so that's one of my big hobbies is turning him on to cool music that mom and dad like. But I work in the marketing business, so not music closely related.
I just got this record if you want to share it with him.
Right on.
Oh, that's perfect for kids. Yeah.
We were looking for a number 6 album for his 6-month picture, and we did rule out anything with 666 in it, but I should have asked him.
Yeah, this is one of those. I was at Bucket of Blood. It's the first authentic recording in history of a satanic ceremony conducted by Anton LaVey. I started to put it on, and I'm not a religious person. I'm not superstitious. I'm like, I should be listening to this. I'm just I'm going to pull this off.
Well, I have a satanic Bible on one of my shelves.
I'm done. I'm out. All right. Abe, Rock 95.5, Roker, Mornings Everywhere. Also Roker Radio, The Slob Show with Abe. DJ Luv Cheez, welcome to the other side. It's lovely on this side of the business.
Congratulations.
Yeah. You know what? I love it. It's fun because I get to work with a variety of different people. Like last month, we did an opening of a dispensary in Panorama City out in Los Angeles. Next month, we're going to South by Southwest. Nice. And we're going to Waco, Texas for this TV show that we're promoting. So we get to travel. We get to do fun stuff. We get to meet with fun people. So it's like, and I feel like I've been talking to Roker, you too, booking guests. You've been talking to PR people and publicists forever. So it's like, I kind of feel sort of at home, but it's definitely weird not being in radio, but I do love sleeping in. So I got that on you, Abe.
Yeah, exactly. I have to wake up at 3:30.
Grant Random, the most powerful man in satellite radio. Where can we hear you on Sirius XM?
Mornings on Octane, voiced by Abe, and afternoons on the 90s alternative channel Lithium.
Nice.
That's a busy schedule. Actually, while you're all here, I do have one more question. Radio story. Jen Jameson, can you talk about the birth of your radio name? Because this is one of the stupidest fucking radio stories.
Oh, it is. You all know Dave Richards.
Yeah,
of course.
So when I started at Q101, Alex Luke was the PD. He hired me, and I was just Jen because when I got there, I was Gen X previously in smaller markets. And so Alex thought Gen X was a little too on the nose and it was not going to be cool in a couple of years. So when
he was right about that. To be clear, he was right about that. That would not have aged well.
It was great for the late 90s, but it wouldn't have worked for long term. So Dave Richards was like, we got to find you a new name. So I went through phone books. I went through like AOL online searches, like looking for names that went well with Jen. And I narrowed it down to a few. And the one that he really, really loved was Jen Jameson. And I'm trying to remember, James, what the was. There were a couple that I presented to him, like, this is what I have narrowed down. And he preferred Jen Jameson. And I was like, all right, I guess we'll go with it. Jenna Jameson was huge at the time. And he thought it was a good move. And
because he thought there'd be confusion. It was plausible enough that the alternative radio station in Chicago might actually have a porn star in overnights. So if there was that confusion, it would work to the station's advantage.
Well, it did fit with everything that Q101 was about at that time. Scary enough, but you know what I'm talking about, Luv Cheez and the Man Cow crew.
Yeah, we had naked women in the studio 3 out of 5 days, probably.
4 out of 5.
As Roker would refer to it as the good old days.
It was the good old days.
Brilliant listeners asking if I was really Jenna Jameson. So, yeah.
Ick. I need a bath. All right.
I think I finally said that, but thanks, JVO.
Roker, Jen, Grant, Cheez, Abe, lovely to see you all. Please, let's stay in touch. I do adore you all.
I love you, James. Congratulations on 700. That's crazy amazing.
That's amazing.
James.
Congrats, James. Very cool.
Thanks, guys.
And I'm going to vote for you this year in the poll. I'm going to vote for you.
How about for governor?
I was going to say he's running for governor now.
You're running too.
All right, I'm sending you all off. Love you all. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Love you.
All right, we're slowly saying goodbye to our guests here. That was lovely. We had Jen, we had Roker, we had DJ Luv Cheez. They're waiting for me to get rid of them. They're not getting rid of themselves.
Last man standing. Who'd have thought?
Gone.